As 2019 ends, what will 2020 bring us? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to the last Bubbas bottom line of 2019, and it's been a great year. It's been great to spend time with you and great to share ideas with you every Sunday. And here we are getting ready for a brand new year. And of course, this year is going to close probably somewhere near the absolute highs. Again, we've heard it all from the inverted yield curve, which we talked about months before it happened, to the end of the world, to impeachment, to this, to that. And at the end of the day, here we are as the markets continue to work their way higher. Amazing. And of course, that's why we talk about never fighting the overall tape. Again, we talk about the different things going on. And of course, you hear the stories about it's fixed, the market's fixed. You know, as I tell the story very often, my grandmother used to like to go to the racetrack to the buggies, which are fixed. And she said, we'd say, Grandma, the horses are fixed. And she says, maybe I'll bet on a crooked horse. So my point is there's a big story going around now about how the metals are fixed once again. We just came out, well, we're still in the midst of the spoofing scandal, more in silver than anything else. But the gold market was fixed. The recent gold rally was fixed. You know, I put it this way. You know, we right here at Bubba Trading and Bubba's Bottom Line, we have given you our position in gold each and every time. And of course, we've been pretty dead on. And I don't have any inside information from the fixers, if they are, because the one thing you can't fix the footprint that has to be left. Okay, so can somebody get a day leg heads up? Possibly. Okay. But again, if I'm going to worry about everything that I think is crooked or phony, I might never leave the house. Okay. But we had a big monster year. And of course, we did see the metals spike into Christmas. And no surprise, again, certain things get to certain values, they become valuable again. They become trade worthy. Okay. But, again, I think you go back and you look at the central banking system, which is you want to talk about phony. Okay. Is there anything more phony than the central banking system? Okay. Is there anything more phony of how they destroy and take our money without us even knowing it? Is it any surprise how they figure out a way? Taxes may be coming down, this may be coming down, but so is the value of my dollars. Now, who is responsible for that? None other than your Federal Reserve and the central banks around the globe. Okay. Why do you think they're so against the cryptocurrency world? Why do you think there's talk of a digital currency coming here? That's so they can hide all the money, okay? Because it doesn't mean anything. I mean, again, from the banks that get to lend at 10 to 1 approximately, and I will stand here at the end of 2019, as I did at the beginning, and say that it is my opinion that the banks couldn't pass a real stress test. Okay, that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'd like to bet on it. Okay, but in the meantime, okay, even if they could pass, which I tend to doubt, okay, they are still creating new money, which at the end of the day makes your money worth less. Which is why here going into 2020, you can make the same equivalent in dollars that you made in 1980. And it seems like it doesn't go anywhere near as far, okay? So if you believe that inflation has been, 300% since 1980, okay, and you were making $20,080 and living a great life, and now you're making $80,000, okay, and you can't hardly eat, what does that tell you? Okay, again, so that is solely the responsibility and the beauty of the central banking system at work. Okay, and of course, it's a sad situation that one man. Okay, in this particular case, it was a woman, but one man in this case, Jerome Powell, determines the fate. And more disgusting is that the markets trade off of that one man. Okay, the market. We have lost the true free market because it's really we're trading money, and we're trading what the cost of that money is, which again, you will see a failure, as we have seen, because this first started heavily in 1989 with Japan, and we can see where they've gone since. But again, that's your Federal Reserve. Those are the central banks around the globe that continue to manipulate currencies instead of letting free markets trade, which again is why they are so against anything other than that. Okay, that's why we aren't on the gold standard anymore. That's why there is nothing that backs the currencies anywhere. Why? Because then they cannot be manipulated as easily. So again, you can think what you want, but now you see the big push for real negative rates around the globe. Okay. And again, what does that do for you and me? Not a thing. It destroys and forces you to put your money in one place. Okay. And now, listen, I'm a fan of the stock market. I'm a fan of equities because, again, in the 150-year, 160-year history, nothing has outperformed them. Okay. But as always, when you reach these ridiculous levels of complacency, and you're basically telling every investor, if you want actual yield to possibly keep up with the rate of inflation, okay, it's got to go into the stock market because you certainly can't invest in the banks. Okay. We've certainly seen inflation rise faster than salaries. Oh, we don't have any inflation. Wait, they keep telling me that, which is a bunch of bull. Okay, ask any farmer out there how it's going for him. Okay, his land may or may not have gone up in price, but unfortunately, your land is not a bank account where you can just take money out and say, okay, I got to pay my bills. Their input costs, their cost to plant have gone higher. Their other costs have gone higher, yet they're still selling grains as they were selling them years and years and years and years ago. So again, you can tell me, okay, about the nonsense, but we all know. I mean, we all know it's a bunch of bull and a bunch of crap. Okay, but of course, as we wind down 2019, this is the best year since 1997. Okay, and I think as you look back at decade after decade, and again, if you look at the 15 decades, okay, which is 150 years, you can see that every decade but two have been very positive for markets, which goes back to our overall theory that there is no place like the equity markets. We've only had 2 down decades in 150 years, and one was the 2000 to 2010 decade, or 2000 2009, which is, believe it or not, marginally lower. Okay, less than 1%, even with 2 major collapses within the decade. So again, I say to you this, that again, based on what we have, okay, based on what's available to you, there is no better place to go. Okay, now I think we've got the trade war still going on, which again I don't really think that's a big deal. But I think it will be a much bigger deal for China right now because, of course, they're what we call hidden cities, which we've written about for years. Okay, a lot of those bills are coming due, and they're going to have to figure out something how to raise enough capital. Of course, what they will do. They will obviously print more money. They will make more money. Okay, because that's what countries do. Okay, they can control their own central banking system. Is they just print more money. Say, okay, screw it. That's how we're going to pay it off. So basically, it's as simple as this, okay? If you remember the basketball player, Magic Johnson, okay? I believe it was 1985, but I can't swear to the exact date, but let's just say it was 1985, okay? Might have been earlier than that, but in the meantime, Dr. Jerry Buss, the owner of the LA Lakers, said, Magic, we're going to sign to the biggest contract. We're going to give you $1 million a year for 25 years, $25 million, which, wow, that was great, right? But what Dr. Buss knew is by the time he got past the first 3 or 4 or 5 years of that contract, that $1 million would be crap, okay? And it would be declining. Even though he'd be paying the $1 million, it would actually be costing him less to pay that $1 million. So, again, you can make all the stories you want, okay? At the end of the day, that's what goes on, which is why people, and you see a lot of these major big sports contracts that are so big today, but in 5 years from now, they'll be small again, okay? Again, there was no major recession in the decade, okay? I still say we are in the very early stages of a recession. Does it mean that we're going to go into one tomorrow? No, it doesn't mean anything. In fact, I don't think it'll go happen. They don't happen quickly, okay? They don't change things suddenly. Not markets, but economies start to go into recession. And you'll start to see, I think we'll start to see maybe some job losses this year. I think you'll start to see some other things that'll happen. I think obviously with the election, we don't typically get a lot of down years that are in election years. Now, obviously, this is going to be a unique election. And don't be surprised, and we'll reveal more of our opinion as the year goes on. But don't be surprised if a couple of individuals, okay, who happen to be on the far left, okay, and not because they're far left because they're far left. They're on the left because that's the only party that they can control right now. Don't be surprised, okay? And you might be able to figure out the names, but I'm not going to name them here. I'm not going to name names yet, but you might be able to figure out, okay, who has enough money to create enough financial panic that might create a recession right before the election, okay? There are things, we will reveal a little piece of this throughout the year, but we certainly have a definite opinion. But I want it on the record here at the end of 2019 that I believe there's a real possibility. And there's about 4 or 5 people in the world that could kind of try to make that happen. And you can use your imagination on who those might be. And of course, the Grinch didn't win Christmas this year. Amazon won. Amazon cleaned up because they are the most progressive. They want everything. They want to be in every business. They want every dollar between their cloud services and their delivery services and the drone service they're working on and all the product that they sell. They don't want you to go anywhere, but right to Amazon.com. And I'm one of them. I don't go anywhere. I go right to Amazon.com because it's easy, it's convenient, it's simple. And I don't care how big they are, and I don't care if they become a monopoly, because you know what? Let somebody compete with them and knock them off. Okay, that's what it comes down to. But they kept believing in their business model, but that is one of the reasons that some of these bigger companies like Facebook and Google want to make sure that they get regulated. Okay, because that's what helps them over time, because they can eliminate the potential competition. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, December the 29th, our last Bubba's Bottom Line of the year. And of course, we're going to step out of a break. We'll be right back with more. What's up, everybody? Just a quick update on our mini and micro portfolios. Of course, we did that great webinar last week. You can certainly listen to it. We just made brand new lifetime contract highs in all of our portfolios in that mini and micro space. And certainly, if you'd like to get involved, there's no time like the present because we're limiting members now. But in the meantime, you want to check that webinar out, just email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, as we go into the new year, don't forget about our high school investing program at Patreon, patreon.com/BubbaTrading. That's patreon.com/BubbaTrading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back, everybody. It is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, December the 29th. And well, surprise, surprise, markets are higher again. Isn't that shocking? Of course, we say every week, we've been long. And of course, we're still long. And again, when will we get short? I have no idea. Don't care. Don't want to think about it. Why? Because, again, when you trade mechanically, when you trade a method, you trade it, you know the odds, you know the percentages. We know that we hit 66%. That's it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to try to outguess it. I don't have to think about it. I mean, we just had a run in the SPY, SPY, the longest in history, okay? It was 11 days in a row until Friday, which was down a whopping 9 cents, okay? But 11 days in a row. That was the longest. The longest before that was 7 days in a row. What does that indicate? There's a big move coming, kids. Okay, there is a big move coming. Now, again, I contend that the next real big move is going to be down. However, if you saw on, I think, Thursday, NASDAQ 9,000 blowing off, I would not be surprised to see one more big spike up and then a failure. But in the meantime, I'm not doing anything about it until my numbers and my mechanical system say to do so. Because, again, for me to guess when it's going to break would be silly. There is no point and no reason to figure out and try to guess. Why not just stay long until it's time? And then we'll get short. But for now, I do believe the next big move will be down. But this up move could last another month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, a year. There's no, the markets don't have an expiration date. It's not a loaf of bread, okay? In the meantime, gold and silver both made good moves this week. And of course, we are long both. We got long silver first last week. We got long gold this week, making money on both. And of course, we're now long. Again, we're not stubborn. I don't fight with the market and say you can't do that. Remember, if you remember that the markets are always right, okay, then you have nothing to worry about because the markets are always right. So if you learn to follow along with the market, you will be a much happier camper over time. And you will also know this, okay? If you try to outguess it in the one time or the 2 times you're right, you will never capitalize as much as you would if you would follow in general, because you will get out of your winner far too fast and get stuck trying to be a prophet instead of making profits. So oil, and I hate oil, as you know, I make it very clear. But again, I'm long oil and singing a happy tune. I mean, again, it's probably going to test the highs of the drone bombing, okay, at 63. We're right at just under 62 right now. And again, hey, look, who might argue? I mean, again, listen, I've been long since 56. So am I going to say, no, I can't go up? Of course I'm going to stay. Look, that is the beauty about trading a method, a consistent method at all times. It's those that are inconsistent in their opinions and in their way they trade that don't make money. Because again, you're then trying to flip a coin. You're trying to beat the probability or the laws of large numbers. Okay. So again, bonds, they've been a little bit of a challenge of a trade. We were long, we were short, we're now short. They've not been great. They haven't been traumatic yet. But again, I hated being long bonds. I didn't mind making money when I was making money on them. I certainly don't like losing on the long side. But again, we're short bonds now, and again, we'll see. Again, short bonds means potential higher interest rates, so we know what a challenge that is because we know the Federal Reserve does not want to hike rates yet. So we'll see how that plays out. I think we've seen the bottoms in the grain markets. Okay, I think we've seen the bottom in all. And actually, in fact, if you could just take agriculture and lump it in as a group, I think we've seen the bottoms across the board. I think the grains have seen bottoms, and it does not mean that there won't be small sell-offs. But I don't think that we will reverse. We are long corn, wheat, and soybeans. Wheat is broken out for sure. Soybeans are broken out. In fact, just Friday is a little bit of a sell-off late day, was right back to support. Corn is hovering, getting ready to break out. Okay, but it has changed on our algorithms. Cattle looks great, especially fat or live cattle. If you don't know what fat cattle is, it goes by live cattle as well. Feeder cattle looks okay, but looks like it could break higher. We look for new highs across the board, and hogs finally turned to the bullish side after churning and chipping back and forth and having wild swings up and down. It has finally gone. So across the board, we are bullish. Okay, the dollar, we're short dollars, and of course, hey, listen, I thought the dollar was going to get to par. It did not. It got to 99.67, and now it's come down. Key area this week, as last week, it failed right at a spot which was a very bearish pattern of failure. We'll see what it looks like. Copper, somebody asked me to cover copper. Copper looks, okay, but I mean, copper will suffer, with the general markets, okay, and of course, again, we're short copper, okay, and we will, continue to do so until it changes. And of course, I think that we're also have done very well with nat gas, and we're short, which is, this time of year, I'm never a huge fan of being short nat gas. But again, I follow the system. I don't change it. But knowing that they burn off a lot of the excess supply, and then of course you get a real nasty cold snap. We haven't had a real nasty cold snap yet. So again, but we'll see. Again, this is like the coloring books when we were kids. Color by numbers. I trade by numbers. It's that simple. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. And the purest trade that there is the futures market. Okay, especially now with the minis and micros. So again, I urge you to check out that video that we did, that webinar. In the meantime, we are going to step out of here for a break, and of course, remind you that this is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, December the 29th, our last broadcast of the decade, our last broadcast of 2019, and of course, let's step out, and we'll be right back with my commentary, which will be a potpourri today. What's up, everybody? Hey, again, I mentioned it during the last segment. Minis and micros, great product, a lot of liquidity, very inexpensive to trade. I think for those who want to trade, there's nothing like it right now. And again, I trade options, I trade everything. But again, for somebody who wants to trade and your entrance into an additional product that you can use, mini and micro futures, there ain't nothing like it. Check out our video, our webinar we did. It's free. Okay, you can email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com, and I'll be happy to send it to you. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line, my commentary, and of course, some more of my terrific bull picks, which have been pretty good. Let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line. Welcome back. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, always I give out a commentary. I don't have anything special today. I mean, I have a few things. And first I want to wish everybody a happy, healthy New Year. Okay, because again, it is New Year. So let's make 2020 the best, happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. But also, let's say, let's get rid of all the trolls. Can you trolls please stay the hell off my website? One of you jackasses sent a very nasty, disturbing message that you posted, which I had to have removed. Okay, but again, there's no reason in this group to have hatred, okay, and to have nasty. So keep your ass off my website, okay? Stay away from what we do. I have no interest in dealing with hate mongers and fear mongers and all the rest of the jackasses. So please stay away. Okay, I'll have them removed anyway. So again, if you want to be an idiot, go be it somewhere else. We don't have any time for trolls. We have no time for people who have nothing else to do but try to create controversy. Okay, this is an opinion show. I'm allowed to give my opinion. Okay, you don't have to agree with it, and if you want to disagree in a proper manner, I have no problem with that. Okay, I can take it. There's a lot of people who call me a jackass. Okay. I can take it. I've been called worse, okay? But other people are reading and looking at your comments, and certainly, if you want to make a reasonable point, please feel free. If you want to be an idiot, don't waste your time. It will be gone, okay? And of course, we've got the big political battle and the big impeachment. It's not impeachment. I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, I wish the left, look, I wish it would go back to when I was a kid. Well, a kid, but 40 years ago, when everybody was kind of around center. And the only differences were our views on issues, not fiscal issues, but losing my mind right now, but on, what side you were on with some of the issues versus, right to choose or whatever. Okay. I guess that's the only thing I think of off the top of my head. But in the meantime, I mean, this left has gone so far left. It's kind of bananas of what's going on. Okay. Because again, we certainly don't want to destroy what little capitalism we have left right now. And I wish that it would just go away. We could see some semblance. But of course, both sides of the aisle, and many of you hate the gentleman that is in the president now. And of course, that's because he's breaking down all these bad deals that have been made over years that have made a lot of people rich. So again, you can think about that for yourself. You can hate him all you want, but you can bet one thing, okay? He is breaking down many of these deals that made a lot of those politicians that paid $40 million of their own money to get elected to a $200,000 a year job. If you ever ask your question why they would do that, you should probably look in the mirror. In the meantime, everybody, have a happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. It's been great. We'll be back. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow with the daily update. But of course, we'll be back next Sunday in 2020. And of course, our football picks, we've been rolling. We had almost all the bowl games. We got gypped on the Ohio State game yesterday, but hey, it happens. Okay. Tonight, we've got one Sunday night football game. And of course, Seattle, San Francisco. Looks too easy. It looks like San Francisco should run away with it. We're going to take Seattle plus the 3 points at home. Okay, this is for the number 1 seed. So we're going to take Seattle plus the 3 at home. And of course, we'll give the other picks during the week through Bubbas Daily Update. In the meantime, again, I wish you all a happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. Even you trolls, I hope you figure it out and find something else to do. But in the meantime, happy, healthy, prosperous New Year. All of you, thank you so much for being a listener or a watcher. And we will see you back here tomorrow with Bubbas Daily Update. And for those who only get Bubbas Bottom Line, Happy New Year. We'll see you next Sunday or next year. Hey, right there, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you later.